Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Chase Shantz. We are here in studio, joined by Brady King. What's going on, Brady?
Not much. Finally, we got all three of us in here.
Yes.
We had the SEC episode the other day with just me and Chase, but now we got the Big Ten preview, and we got all three of us, and it's going to be a good episode. We do this every year.
Yep.
We've had some really good predictions, some really bad predictions. And we'll see how this year goes.
That's why we love the preseason. And then our third member, obviously, Matt Ricketts.
What's up, everybody? We're back. We're better than ever. Big Ten preview. Can't wait for some Big Ten football this year. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir. And if you guys are watching, listening, all that stuff, please like, subscribe, comment, do whatever. We appreciate the support we've had over the last couple of years. Not wasting any time. The Big Ten is no longer 10 teams. It's 18 teams. There's a lot of it hadn't been 10 teams in how long?
It was 14.
Yeah, I know it's 14, but how long is when was the last time the Big Ten was actually 10
93.
teams?
94.
Yeah,
It was 11 teams for until Penn State joined in 93, I believe, which made it 11, and then
12.
Nebraska made it 12.
Well, that's and that's stuff that we normally don't like. You don't think about that.
Yeah,
a whole
but
lot,
it hasn't been 10 teams for
over 30 years.
Before we were born.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I mean, the Big 12 is 16 teams right now.
Right.
The SEC, I know there's no number figure in it. The Pac-12 is Pac-2. So it's crazy. How that's, but again, they had a USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington. We've talked all about it throughout the entire offseason and stuff. Oregon looking like the strongest link coming in. And then UCLA is in. They got Deshaun Foster is their head coach now.
Did you see that interview?
He had a really oh gosh,
that was rough.
We're in LA. We're
USC.
City is USC.
Yeah, it was a rough one to watch though. I mean, we'll see what happens with USC.
He might be an idiot.
I don't know. He was a damn good running back in the league, but as a coach, I don't know. That's going to be a big thing. And then USC, Lincoln Riley, Miller Moss, the quarterback, and everything.
Yeah.
Out there in LA. We'll get to them in a second. And then Washington. It's crazy because those three teams are the ones that we're talking about the most, but Washington just came off a national championship appearance, and they probably are going to be one of the bottom.
Right, bottom, middle,
probably middle, bottom in that regard. So those, adding those major powerhouses, I'm not going to say powerhouses, but those major teams out from the Pac-12, we basically poached the top four teams in the Pac-12 in that regard.
Brand-wise. If you combine
that's
brand and play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those are the teams that you focus on the most. But, we've already talked about thoughts on the entire thing and everything. It's making it, a nationwide conference and all. But let's look at some of the top games in this season. Brady, I know actually both of you guys, Ohio State and Michigan, the game is our biggest one that we have circled on the schedule. And we already know another Ohio State game, but we'll talk about it though. Ohio State and Oregon on October the 12th. That's the big one that we want to talk about.
I can't wait for that one. I mean, it's going to be crazy. Going to Austin, it's supposed to be one of the loudest environments in the country. So it's going to be great it's going to be weird. You know what I mean?
Really weird.
As a big conference game going out there out west. It's like our first one. You know what I mean? We were supposed to go out there a few years ago, and
in 2020
COVID happened.
Yeah.
So that would have been cool to have Justin Fields out there because we would have beat their ass. But and then they came obviously into the shoe and ran all over us. So I mean, we got some revenge to get out there, but they're loaded, dude. I mean, they're going to be a really good team. There's a chance they're the two best teams in the sport this year. So we'll see.
You guys saw the big inflatable duck that they brought to Indianapolis.
They're ready. Dan Lanning's got that thing rolling. So, but I'm excited.
If Ryan Day is gone, I feel like that's what I want in my head.
Poaching the conference, man. That'd be
but
crazy.
It's going to be crazy because that day that we play them is the best day of college football.
Remember 2 years ago, I think it was October the 15th in 2022 with Bama, Tennessee was the big
Tennessee, Bama,
and Michigan, Penn State.
They played earlier in the day.
We had to buy.
Yeah, and
so
then
we
could
just
take
back and not do nothing.
I kind of wish it was like that again.
Yeah, but I also
it's cool. But at least
it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
it's going to be like Notre Dame last year, where I start popping the beers open at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, trust me.
And we're going to breakfast, and it's an all dayer because we're going to be the night. We're 100% going to be the night game. So it's I'm excited for that one. I mean, that's the other than the Michigan game, obviously, that's the one I have circled.
And this is a much better Oregon team than the one we lost to a couple years ago. Now, if we would have played that team weeks later, we probably blow them out. And it was a very weird. We kept committing penalties at the wrong times, but we still have revenge to get, and it's not going to be easy. Obviously, on the road against a much better team, it's going to be a crazy environment and a crazy, maybe one of the most watched regular season games of the of the whole year.
And I'll say this, if mark these words, if that game is the nightcap on NBC, we'll get a good friend on and we'll talk about it from and Noah Eagle. Hopefully he's doing well over the Olympics. USC Michigan. That's a game highlighted. I know it's on CBS this year.
Yeah, it's a game you could circle. Just big brands.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of big brand matchups,
and they're coming in from the West.
Yeah,
new quarterback for Lincoln Riley. So it's going to be. I'm not really expecting a whole lot from USC, but I'm not necessarily expecting a whole lot from Michigan either. It's going to be maybe one of those tricky games where Michigan thinks they're going to kick their ass and kind of just. They end up hanging around, so we'll see.
Yeah, thoughts on the game, Brady?
I do think Michigan will kill USC personally. I see where you're coming from. I don't think Michigan will be what they were last year, but USC is also probably going to take even more of a step back. And they weren't good last year.
They were horrible.
I mean, they were horrible, and they had the number 1 pick. Miller Moss looked good in the bowl game, but what's that when you're playing against Louisville, who I don't even think had their whole team playing last year. I don't know. I feel like USC is maybe a 6-6 or so team. I don't know if they can really handle up front what Michigan will have. I think that's probably the deciding factor. But 2 huge brands. I mean, it's going to be a huge game brand wise. Michigan, USC. That's in California at USC?
It's actually the big house.
It's at the big house.
Oh, yeah. Michigan is hosting a lot of these big brand games.
Honestly, Michigan's schedule is not as hard as some people say because they got so many home games.
Think about all the brands they're hosting. They're hosting Texas. They're hosting USC. They're hosting Oregon.
Washington?
They are going to Washington. But they're still hosting 3
They don't draw Penn State this year.
If I'm a student at Michigan, I'm using this.
We didn't check that, but
the students that get student tickets at Michigan that don't care about football are going to make so much money off of selling those tickets.
So many.
I mean, that Oregon ticket will go for hundreds. The Texas ticket will go for like 500.
You're talking about the first game of the season with them coming off a national championship. That's still going to go for decent bit of money at that point. But yeah, I mean, so it'll be interesting to see. But is there I know we obviously have talked about Ohio State, Michigan. We'll talk about that thing throughout the entire season and how we're leading up to it. But are there any other games that really catch your interest? I'm going to start with Brady on this one, and then we'll bounce to Matt.
Yeah, I think Ohio State, Penn State is massive. I think that will be one of the better Ohio State, Penn State games that we've seen in the past. I guess 2022 was a really good game. I was going to say probably the best Ohio State, Penn State game since 2018 because we did kind of run away with that one at the end. I don't know. There's just something going on the road at Happy Valley. They have a really nasty defense. They're physical up front. Their quarterback sucks, but maybe he'll take a little bit of a leap this year. We'll see. He just has to tone down those nerves. And then they have the second best RB duo in the entire country, right behind Ohio State. I thought for sure coming into the year that they would have the best running back duo in the country until weird things happened that had us end up with who we have. That's going to be tough to stop, even with our defense and the old offensive line on the road. And then who knows? I'm not sure what time that game will be. Probably noon. Unfortunately,
that's probably better for us.
Did they announce the Washington Penn State's going to be the whiteout game, right?
100%.
They did. So I mean, and that's the week after too, which is unfortunate. It's not like that. Washington and Penn State are playing a month before and they already decided. It's a week after a huge game against Ohio State. I mean, it's unbelievable. But
it's really weird that they don't want that to be the whiteout.
And that's Penn State's game of the year because they don't have a true rival that they play on a yearly basis. So.
Yeah. And they don't play Michigan this year. We did confirm that. Though last year Michigan played at Penn State, and there's no matchup in 2024. And same with Ohio State this year. I mean, there's no guarantee that we're going to play Penn State going forward every single year.
I don't know. We don't play them in 25 next year. So
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of things. Just the way things are definitely going to change here in 2024 for college football. Matt, I know we were, just talking about that game. That's one that you got circled on your schedule.
Penn State USC is on October 12th.
That's the same day as Ohio State and Oregon.
I mean, there's a lot of really good college football games that day.
Yeah.
Big Ole Miss plays LSU, like Texas, Oklahoma. Like there's some. I mean, we're gonna put down the beers.
Yeah, you will.
That's for sure. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and then just the one game that I'm not gonna say this is a great game, but this was one that really caught me off guard. Rutgers goes out west to USC.
Rutgers could win, dude.
But I'm going to say this. It's a Friday night game on October 25th at 11 o'clock p.m.
I think Fox. You said that about that.
It's
going to be 8 o'clock kick out there.
But
we'll be 11 over here
on a Friday.
I could see Rutgers absolutely run all over USC.
And their quarterback, Ethan Kaliak.
I can just see myself.
So is Wimsatt still in the roster? Do you know? Because I keep seeing Ethan Cal. I know he transferred there, but
people are projecting him to be the guy.
They do. They do. So I'm assuming he will be.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that makes me think a little bit less about them being able to beat USC. But
we draw Rutgers, right?
No, we didn't.
No,
we didn't draw Rutgers.
Not this year.
Did we draw Indiana?
Yes, we did. That's a week before Michigan game, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean,
we always play those guys before the.
It's gonna be a pretty easy. Well,
we play them or Maryland.
Pretty easy game.
There's Wood right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So I mean, again, it's gonna be interesting with that. But yeah, and then Washington goes to Rutgers on a Friday night game, 8 p.m. on Fox on September 27th. Wow. There's a lot of random Friday night games.
Washington at Rutgers is so weird.
It's a weird.
Oregon.
Will Rogers.
Oregon plays Michigan State the week before us.
That's right. Yeah.
On Friday night.
Yep. So there's going to be a lot of those out west teams.
Michigan, or I'm sorry, at Oregon.
I remember they had a little home and home going on back when Oregon was good.
They did.
Like 10 years ago.
Oregon beat them the year.
It's like 15, I think they had it.
2014, 2013.
We beat both of them.
Yeah.
What? Oh, yeah.
The year we won
2014, yeah.
14.
Oregon we beat Oregon by more. Yeah. But we did play Michigan State on the road.
We beat both of them.
Yeah. But again, again, TV-wise, it's going to be very weird to see some of these games and brand-wise as well. But Brady, I know we did this with the SEC, but you know, let's do it with the Big Ten. Best at each position. And then, Matt, you can kind of react to this. You know, like, is it a good pick? Is it a bad pick? Wow. You can call Brady a lot of
say
stuff.
Who you think
I got some good ones.
Better.
Yeah. All right. So let's tee it up right here, and let's go with the quarterback. Who's the best quarterback in the Big Ten right now?
I think the easy answer is probably Dylan Gabriel for this one. I mean, there's a couple other guys that come to mind, but, you know, when you talk about, like, the most proven guy in the Big Ten that's thrown the most career touchdown passes and has done it at another big school before, Dylan Gabriel is the answer.
We rock with that, Matt.
I do rock with that. I was thinking Alex Orji.
who are a couple other guys you can see being like right behind him?
Will Howard is going to have the numbers probably.
And the weapons as well. It's going to help.
I mean,
a huge amount.
Drew Howard, I was really high on last year. He shit the bed big time. So
hey, he's got Julian Fleming, man. Watch out.
He does have Julian.
We'll see, man. Maybe he'll blossom.
Maybe he'll play better. Miller Moss, I think, is going to be good. So he's another guy who's going to, just in Lincoln Riley's offense, is going to have good numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, those are guys I would say off the top of my head that I would.
Now, I want to ask about this guy real quick, Dylan Raiola.
Dude, it could be
just
sneaky.
give me your thoughts though, because like again, I want to touch Nebraska real quick before we move on in this, because we've talked about it a little bit, Brady.
Yeah,
Nebraska could very well be undefeated going into the Ohio State game on Halloween week.
They're probably going to be favored to be. I would say
undefeated. They'll probably be favored.
Like they'll be favored in every game.
Yeah.
I think they play Colorado, and that's it.
Week 2, I believe. Yeah, it's a September 7th on NBC. So
that's at Nebraska. Because they played.
I mean, you look at this. I mean, UTEP, Colorado, Northern Iowa, Illinois, Purdue, Rutgers, Indiana, before us. So I mean, you're looking at
big time,
and we play them on Halloween weekend.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, dude,
you're sending a big time game right there, a big time match.
Realistically, if you look at the schedule, they play UCLA after us, USC, Wisconsin, and Iowa. We're the only big boy they draw.
Yeah.
So they could, I mean, if they lose to us,
they could go to the college football playoff.
100%.
If they lose to us, they could even make the Big Ten championship.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a long shot, I would say.
It is. But
if Dylan Raiola comes out of here, I mean, dude, we're the only one of the, I would say, big 4: Penn State, Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State
that they play,
that they draw.
Yeah.
So I mean, dude, and their non-conference is weak.
Yeah. Now Raiola, he went from 4 high schools in 4 years. So that guy, he's bouncing around the entire place.
3 college commitments too. There's a really good chance he enters the portal after this year.
It wouldn't shock.
It's like bad season, enters the portal because he doesn't like it. Good season, enters the portal to get an NIL back.
Yeah, that's what I think it's going to end up being.
Like he'll probably enter the portal
like
after
USC
the year.
or something.
Yeah,
could be.
Bill Miller Moss, like somebody good that needs like a star.
Georgia to Like again, Carson Beck.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options that he could try to
post Milroe
throw himself to. So again, I just wanted to see Nebraska and ask the thoughts of Raiola. But let's go to running back. Ohio State has two of the best running backs in the conference and in the country, all this stuff. But who'd you pick out of the two?
Judkins.
It's not as quick for me to say.
Have you seen the spin move on NCAA?
Yeah,
it's unstoppable, guys.
Everyone talks about it.
He might be the best player in the game. He really might.
He might be. I would go with Quinshon Judkins as the best running back in the conference. Travion right behind.
Yep.
Third would be Nick Singleton.
Yep.
And then probably Donovan Edwards after that.
What do you think about Katron?
Ooh, honestly, and Monungai from Rutgers.
Yeah, I was also.
They're both better than Donovan Edwards at this moment.
So we'll push Donovan to about 6 at that point.
Yeah. Okay. And that's being generous based on his year last year. I'm just assuming he gets a little bit. I mean, that was awful. I'm just assuming he gets a little bit better.
He doesn't like Donovan Edwards.
I think he's not good. I mean,
now
he's on the cover of the game. That's crazy.
Even he said he shouldn't have.
Wow. He's like the 7th best player in his conference at his position, and he's on the cover.
That's kind of nuts.
And how many best player at his school last year?
Oh my God, he wasn't in the top 20. I don't think
10th probably.
I mean, that's being really generous. Yeah,
15. I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy. Hey, I mean, he got his airtime, all that stuff. But hey, let's go to receiver.
This is a good debate.
Yeah, because there are a lot of good receivers in the conference.
It's a good receiver.
But there's a receiver that hasn't played a snap yet who is drawing a lot of attention.
That's who I think is the best. So
do you think he's the best at this particular moment, and he hasn't played a snap yet?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that unpopular of a take. Mine is coming down to Emeka Egbuka versus Tez Johnson at Oregon, and I'm picking Emeka. Last time he's fully healthy, he was clearly the best out of this group of guys in the conference. He's a senior now. He was the #1 receiver in the nation. He's had he was great against Michigan and Georgia and Penn State in big games his sophomore year. Was really good against Notre Dame and even Missouri last year. He was the guy they'd go to as the safety blanket, even though we were horrible on offense. Yeah. Trayshawn Holden, no. He's not.
What about
Evan Stewart has the talent to be up there, but he's never had a season above like 600 yards. But I think Emeka is the answer for me.
I think another guy, Zachariah Branch, is going to be really good.
Yeah.
From USC, he's unreal. He looks like
the best returner.
Last year I watched him and I said, "Oh my God, is that Reggie Bush?"
I wish we watched the Week 1 game against San Jose State. That was unbelievable.
I mean, he was unreal.
I wish he committed to us as like a specialist. Like, it's not even that we need him as a receiver; we just need him to like do stupid stuff.
I would say he's a guy to watch out for. I was going to say Evan Stewart too. He's the guy you could watch out for, talent wise.
Mm-hmm. Make some crazy catches and stuff.
I mean, I would say Emeka and Jeremiah are the best. I think Jeremiah's the best. I just do.
And the thing is,
I don't disagree. It's just so hard to.
I'm a guy that dies on the hill of like, you know what? I got to see it happen first. But at the same time, I think we already understand. All right. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen it in practice. Again, I know it's practice. I don't look. And he's playing against these guys in the corners that are one of probably the best secondary in the and like as a full secondary in the country. I just think it's gonna.
I don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to overhype him. I get it.
But again, do I think the hype is real? Yeah, 100%. Do I think he's gonna produce? Yes, 100%. Do I think he's gonna be the best in the country? Hell yeah, he's gonna be. Yeah. So again, I don't want to push until
I'm ready to draft him in my dynasty NFL league already.
The man graduated high school not long ago. Yeah. But let's go tight ends.
Yeah.
Who are we rocking with? Do we go with?
It's an easy answer. Yeah. Unfortunately, it is G. Scott Jr. Colston Loveland is the answer here. Last year he was top 3. He's their only receiving threat that they really have on this team, but he's a very good tight end, probably the best tight end in the country this year. He's definitely annoying to play against. I wish they didn't have him, but
he's annoying to play in the video game too.
Yeah, he gets open a lot.
He is annoying.
Michigan always has annoying tight ends.
Yeah,
Jake Butt.
He's probably the most like just gifted tight end I've seen them have. Though
Devin Funches was really good too.
Even over Jake, he might even be better than Jake Butt in terms of just like
There were some other ones too.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of.
It'll pop to mind later, but
it's Loveland. Oh, Zach Gentry.
Zach Gentry.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Colson Loveland probably the guy.
Oh,
there.
it's easy.
Yeah.
Easy answer.
Then we'll go with not the best. We're not going individual position on the offensive line, but who's the best lineman, pure lineman in the entire conference?
I'm gonna let Matt start on this.
I was going to say Connolly from Oregon.
Okay.
The Oregon tackles are really good. Was Cornelius?
Johnny Cornelius.
Cornelius is really good. So those are the guys I would say. And to be quite honest with you, I think Wisconsin has a really good tackle too, but I can't remember his freaking name off the top of my head. Riley something.
Are you talking about Nolan Rucci?
No, well,
no, he transferred to Penn State. What am I talking about? What about him from Penn State?
I think it's Riley something. It's supposed to be a returning tackle for Wisconsin and really good. And then if you look at Ohio State, Donovan is coming back. So
yeah.
I mean,
you're going to lean Oregon in this?
I'm going to lean Oregon. I'm going to lean
with
the Oregon tackles as the two guys that are the best.
Who do you got?
I'm going to go Donovan Jackson.
That's a good one. I think he's good too.
I think he's the strongest player on the team.
Yep.
He is now 2 seasons starting under his belt and pretty unanimous, the number 1 guard in the country this year, like preseason wise.
Oh yeah.
And I think he'll live up to the hype because he came back for a purpose. He could have left and been a pretty high pick, and he came back too. You know, and people that do that usually don't fall off unless your name is Sean Wade. And I think Donovan Jackson.
I think Seth McLaughlin is going to be good too.
Seth McLaughlin. We have 3 really good offensive linemen, and Donovan, Seth, and Josh Simmons.
Yes, I think Seth McLaughlin's going to be really good too.
But
so look out
Johnny
for him
Cornelius and Connolly were up there too.
Look out for him to win the Remington Award towards the end of the year, which is the best center in the country. Watch out for that one.
I could see that.
If we have a really good, we've had a really great history at Ohio State with Pat Elflein and Billy Price winning those awards.
Yep.
So watch out for that towards the end of the year.
Luke Whippler was one of the best.
Even Josh Myers.
Oh, Josh Myers.
Yeah.
This is also the guy that self-proclaimed himself.
I don't know if we've told this.
Hey, Matt, you were a very good center.
Yes,
you were.
He sucked.
Yeah, I'll give you your flowers. You were a great center. I'll give you.
I was texted my teammate that said, and I sent it to you. Happy birthday, best center in the conference, 14-15.
How would you have fared playing football?
Oh, not good. I wasn't big enough back then, guys. I wasn't big enough.
What would you do if?
I wish I was my brother's size. I would have had a chance.
What would you do if Tyleik Williams or Caden McDonald were on the other side of you?
I can't say it on air, guys.
He's getting better at it.
I was thinking about it, then I looked and say
Hey, but actually,
they're trying to put a filter on me. Guys.
Oh sorry. Yeah, because again, I would try out the filters, but I don't know if it's gonna work. I hope they hear that. But hey, we'll go to the defensive line. Actually, speaking of guys like Caden McDonald and Tyleik Williams, who was the best interior defensive lineman in the conference? What do we think?
There's some really good ones. I mean,
this is a debate. There's people that don't think this is a debate.
I think it is because Tyleik and Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham are all really good.
I mean, what people the consensus pick would be Mason Graham.
Yeah.
I'll probably agree. I think he probably is the best overall because of his versatility, and he's probably a little bit more in shape than the other two.
But Tyleik is
better than Grant. Tyleik is better than Kenneth Grant. He's the second best. Yeah. He could be a first. He's projected first round right now.
So those are your inside guys that I would put on there.
Now let's go outside.
I think Jack Sawyer is probably.
Wait.
What about you?
Oh, you already said that. Okay, never mind. I didn't hear.
Yeah, he said Jack Sawyer.
Definitely Jack Sawyer.
Yeah.
I think this is my biggest hot take yet.
I think he could be a first round.
I think he could be a top 5 pick.
Wow. Okay.
He has that upside. I
didn't want to go there, but I was thinking
he went there.
I'll go there. I think he has the most upside in this next season.
What would you say? You would put Abdul as more of a linebacker, right? Because he plays on the edge at times.
Oh yeah,
Abdul Carter from
floats a bit.
Yeah. From Pitt State is also a guy that if he rushes, he kind of like is kind of like Micah Parsons, kind of.
Yeah,
in college.
He actually like blasted Quinshot one play against Ole Miss.
It's a good comp because that's kind of, Micah played a lot of inside backer in college and then kind of progressed to the edge in the NFL. So you look. I mean, it's just a coincidence.
Him and JK had some battles.
It's just a coincidence that they both played at Penn State. So watch out for him. I mean, he's going to be really good.
Yeah,
I just think Sawyer at the end of last year.
He was. We were talking about the Minnesota game. Remember that was the Minnesota we were talking about
that game.
And the Missouri game, he had 3 sacks.
Yeah, it was like Minnesota and Missouri was like, oh my
But
God,
we
this guy looks
realized
like a
it at that
first-round
point.
pick right now.
Yeah.
And he came back, and we're like,
that was a big thing. And it's going to be interesting to see with Sawyer and Abdul Carter. And then we'll see what happens with JT.
JT,
you know?
I think JT is like,
we'll see.
Like, he's like really good, but he doesn't have the upside at that Jack. I think JT is like he's like your 20th overall pick.
He
no higher, not much lower. He's like your 20th. He's a really good player.
He fits the 20th pick.
Yeah, he's like the 20th.
He flashed sooner. He flashed sooner than Jack. Jack was a late bloomer, dude. In terms of,
I feel like
in college,
there's nothing wrong with that.
He was in high school. He's a five-star super.
I thought he was the best high school player in the country.
You did, but I'm saying in college he bloomed late. We thought for coming in as a 5-star.
His freshman season was disappointing a little bit.
Dude, it was like.
And then his sophomore season, they put him as a linebacker role. Like, remember that the Jack position, Leo position, the Jack position that he didn't fit at all, and he would be trying to cover slant routes.
Just
and
weird.
Stuff.
Like he didn't.
No screwed him.
He didn't flash as the 5-star defensive end that you expect to flash at Ohio State, like the Bosa's or Young or whatever.
Last year was his first year as a full-time DN starter.
JT in 2022 had that game against Penn State. Like he flashed.
Had a sack against Georgia.
Georgia.
I mean, I thought after that sack,
he
burst on.
He came earlier, even though he was not as recruited as
he's an incredible football player with amazing instincts. He knows where the ball is. He's got like a nose for the obviously he picked the ball off multiple times, fumble recovery.
Let's mention that both of these pass rushers are very good all around athletes because they were both very good basketball players too. You know?
I mean, and we got other guys, Kenyatta Jackson.
We do.
I mean,
Caden Curry, Mitchell Melton, Edric Houston.
Guys off of the bat.
He's got them all.
I mean, the freshman.
I mean, Edric. He's going to be in this conversation.
Let's peel this back another layer and go back to linebacker. Who's the best looking linebacker in style of play?
Carter.
And it's like because he just kind of moves around. A
Golston
is
good.
Now, how about like
who?
Golston or whatever the fuck his name is from Michigan?
They don't have him anymore. Junior Colson left. He shouldn't have. He probably should have came back.
I swear, I thought Junior Colson came back.
No, he left.
Sorry,
for the Chargers. They drafted the Chargers. Drafted him. I think.
Golly, who's the other Michigan guy that came back?
Well,
one that came back.
They didn't have any of their returning starting linebackers return. They did get the best, probably best starting linebacker in the portal, Jay Sean Barham from Maryland.
Are you going to pick him as your guy, or
I'm going to go with Sonny because I like Sonny.
Okay,
with Sonny moving down into the box, it could be really
could be
a big thing. So
I think Sonny has, otherworldly potential. I think he is one of the best Ohio high school athletes since LeBron James. And I think last year he basically started as a true freshman and was really good. Like he did not look like a true freshman out there. And he's 100%. I don't know where, but he's a future first rounder. I don't know if he leaves after this year or next year, but he's ridiculous. So rangy. I think he's going to have a great year.
Iowa also has a really good linebacker.
Oh, Jay Higgins is my pick at Iowa.
That's the one.
That's what I was planning on picking. But Sonny has the most potential at any linebacker. I would
say Higgins is probably your traditional linebacker pick.
Yeah.
I think Carter's probably a better player, but he's going to be kind of in a weird
That's the
role.
thing. You have him in a weird role. Sonny is moving down to linebacker, but he's come with the safety background and everything else. Like
so it's kind of
you got a lot of.
If you're looking at traditional backer, I swear I thought Colson came back. I can't believe it.
A lot's happened over the offseason, so.
But I would say Higgins is the guy that from Iowa.
He probably would have came back if they didn't win it all.
I couldn't believe it. I swear I thought he's coming back.
That's even one less player they have than you thought they had.
Dude. I didn't even know he was.
They have Ernest Hausman.
I thought he
back.
was like a sophomore, and he couldn't leave.
He started all 3 years.
That's crazy.
21, 22, 23.
Wow.
He was good.
I thought
Higgins and Styles will play on October 5th, Ohio State on that day.
Yes.
I saw a mock draft that had Styles getting picked as a safety like in the first round for next year, which would be, it could happen even though, because he didn't get moved from safety because he's not good at it. He got moved because we got the best safety in the country and he can play wherever.
And that's another thing we should roll into. We don't even have to talk about safety because it's just scale downs.
Yeah.
That's literally it. All right.
I think it's Rod Moore. I'm playing.
Oh, man. Corner.
What do you want to go with on this? Are you picking Denzel or Will Johnson? Which one?
There's another guy too. There's one more.
Yeah. I think it's Denzel, but that's just my opinion. I think everybody else is going to think it's Will Johnson. We'll see this year.
Well, my thing about this is there's 3 guys you can choose from. You got Will Johnson, Denzel Burke, And of course, Jabbar Muhammad III from Oregon, who transferred from the rival Washington.
It is so tough to keep track with these other teams that came. I'm trying to get over the fact that they're in the Big Ten now.
It's tough, and Iowa has another white corner starting named John Lester. Apparently,
isn't that crazy?
I mean, the Buckeyes have 4 corners that are really good. Like,
are you talking
nickel too?
Yeah, you're talking Jordan and then Jermaine, obviously. And then Calvin Simpson Hunt is a 5-star sophomore coming back.
Aaron
Scott
Matthews,
Jr. coming up as a freshman.
Jermaine Matthews, Davison Igbedoson, and Jordan Hancock are all.
There's so many names.
I mean, unreal.
I think
Lathan Ransom is also a guy coming back that's going to be I just think he's a good player. He's a great football player. Yeah. It was gross watching him hurt his foot or ankle at Wisconsin. I was like, oh no, he's done.
I just because I didn't have the TV,
we were in the corner, and
you
we were right there. I was right in the corner where he got hurt. And I was like, oh god, he's done. He's done.
I looked over and saw him limping. I'm like,
oh yeah. Just the way he was acting, like going back to the locker room, I was like, he's done. That's it. We're never gonna see him play again.
Nope, he's back. He's running it back. So
I think if you want your top receiver locked up, it's Denzel Burke. He's better than Will Johnson at doing that.
Yes.
But I think the best ball hawk and changing a game by having a huge interception, like making bigger plays, is Will Johnson.
Yeah.
We saw.
And I think I'm going to go Will Johnson because he did it in the Natty when they were up 7. He intercepted the ball in the first drive of the second half. And obviously, I mean,
he did it.
I'm not going to give him a ton of credit for getting a pass that was thrown right into his chest.
That is true.
He still did.
But you got to make the play.
He probably was stunned the ball was coming at him. He's like, bro, what is he doing? Picks it off.
Denzel Burke and Jack Sawyer really shined in that bowl game. They're the only ones.
I think they have the 2 best mentalities on the team too. Have you seen Denzel?
Burke
he said we're winning every game.
Comes downhill. It hits like a linebacker, but he'll cover like a corner. Like he's a bad dude.
Did any receiver have over 50 yards on him last year? Luther Burden III did nothing against him.
I cannot.
Roman Wilson,
who's everybody thinks is probably the best receiver in America. Right?
Yeah, Roman Wilson fumbled and they didn't count. It was an interception, guys. Go check it out. That was not a touchdown.
But anyways, I'm taking Denzel. I know Will Johnson's up there, but
I'd probably go Will. But I think Denzel.
I'd probably go Mason Graham. But
what?
I'm saying, like, we're picking Michigan guys.
Oh,
like, it's just not like we're not.
I was like, wait,
I'm saying, like, I would pick Mason Graham over Tyleek. Like, we're not trying to be biased.
Oh, yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. We do need to preface that because of, again, we're Ohio State fans, but
also, I will say this.
Like, I'm trying to be fair about
that. I saw that Notre Dame fan comment.
That's my friend Tim. Yeah.
Tim? Yeah. You don't know what you're talking about.
What happened? What happened?
He commented on the last video, says there's that Ohio State bias again.
Oh.
Because we said Caleb Downs was better than Malachi Starks.
Yeah, we'll see on that.
What about Ben Morrison? He's a good one.
He is a good one.
Ben Morrison is the best corner in college football. Straight up cover.
I want to ask one more before we go into conference championship predictions. Best coach in the conference.
Oh, Ryan Day.
Ryan Day.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
Dan Lanning's there.
He's the second.
Okay. I just want to see where the
Lincoln
head was
Riley would be third.
I just wanted to see.
I like Luke Fickle too.
I just wanted to see where the head was at with it.
I think Luke Fickle's good.
Yeah. That's all.
It's just Day's the most proven and has the best team going into the year. I just feel like I have to go with Ryan.
He's got the best.
Yeah. I just want to ask.
Yeah.
All right. Conference championship predictions. We always have fun with this one. We did a couple years ago. We did last year, and here we are.
It appears we're no longer recording.
No, it's fine. It's
okay.
a thing. Just
never mind.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine.
I just thought
it's fine. It goes through. Now, Matt, what are you?
I'm gonna take Ohio State and Oregon. I think we end up beating them twice. I do.
So cool. What do you got, Brady?
Ohio State, Oregon.
I think Oregon runs the table other than the 2
I
losses.
pick Ohio State to win the conference championship against Oregon.
It's a sweep across the board in that regard. I know it's chalk, but Ohio State over Oregon. It's a big one. Indianapolis. How many teams make the playoff from the Big Ten? Brady.
4. You got Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and the Wolverines.
I think it'll be 3. I don't think Michigan will make it this year.
You got Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State.
Do you think Penn State's better than Michigan this year?
No.
You just think they have an easier schedule?
I think they might be right there, like neck and neck.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna agree with that. This one with 3 teams,
but I just think Penn State is they'll go 10-2 and make it.
I think this year I will say.
I think Michigan's schedule is too.
I think this is your best conference in college football.
I think Michigan goes 9-3 and doesn't make it.
Yeah, there's a very good chance on that. You know? And plus the SEC, if they're getting more teams in there as well, like we talked about on the other show.
I think they go 9-3.
Whoever the champ is.
I think Utah is a team that is gonna their schedule in the Big 12. Like they're gonna win. They're gonna get in.
Yep.
Like there's teams that are gonna have to get in.
Yeah.
They're just if you're 9-3, you got to be a really good 9-3, and I just see it this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
from Michigan.
Gonna be tough. Before we get on out of here, give me a breakout player for you, Matthew.
Jeremiah Smith.
All right. You got a lot more in your bag. So who do you got?
I'll just go Sonny Styles. We're staying with the Buckeyes, but they have the most.
Zachariah Branch, another guy.
Okay.
Zachariah Branch. Now I would say broke out.
As a receiver, he's more. I think he's going to break
out as a star player in the Big Ten this year.
All right, Brady, and as someone that is not from Ohio State,
someone that's not from Ohio State.
Ethan Cavalier. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's a good one.
I put you on the spot here.
Miller Moss.
That's a good one.